distant arcs coming down here from through this bladder here. We see that a lot when we're looking at the bladder. Now, you can measure, you can sort of estimate the volume of the bladder by using the equation width times height times length. And here's a situation where we, in a transverse plane, okay, so this is to the patient's right, this is to the patient's left, we measure the width using our calipers, and then we, pop that number into our iPhone calculator, and then or whatever calculator you have, and then you take the height, so here's anterior, here's posterior, and then you get those two values, and then you unfreeze the machine, and then you rotate the probe into a sagittal plane. Okay, in a sagittal plane, what was once the width is now the length. I'm going to say that one more time because that confuses a lot of people. Okay, over here in a transverse plane, this is the width of the bladder. We then rotate the probe into a sagittal plane, and what used to look like the width is now the length of the bladder in a sagittal plane. Okay, so if you got that, if you followed that, you're good to go. If you didn't follow it, go to iTunes U later tonight and you'll hear this lecture all over again. This is how we measure the bladder. This is a transverse plane of the bladder. It looks really kind of squared off here. It's pretty full. They're going to measure first the height of the bladder in this transverse plane. From here to here is the height. And then eventually, in this particular software, it's able to and some of the machines you can lock in the values, and the machine will do the calculation for you. So they measure the height. Now they're measuring the width in the transverse plane, and then they're going to unfreeze the machine, and they're going to go to a sagittal plane. You'll see here now, they rotate the probe 90 degrees, so they're in a sagittal plane, and they delete the word trans, and they write the word sag, and then they're going to get a nice long sagittal plane of this. They're going to freeze it, and they're going to drop their caliper across the screen, and that'll be the height times the width times the length. And then as they do so, you can see the volume is being calculated down here. It comes out to like 437 cc's of urine. It's a lot of urine. So